The pace in this fight was significantly higher than it was for his last two fights against myself. My pace was so much slower. I was very surprised at the pace, because the pace he fought me at was a lot slower. We was fencing more, we were looking for the shot. He came out and he was super fast. He was really applying the pressure in terms of reflexes, trying to draw the lead.
Quick counters.
Yeah, with counter punches. And I remember thinking, I've never seen this Tony Bellew. But in the lead up to my fight, even in the fight with me, he was fighting better in this fight in the early rounds than he was fighting me.
That's kind of what Usyk wanted. He wanted him to work at a pace that he wasn't comfortable with, because Usyk kind of walked through, skipped through the fight, and then eventually, when he fancied it, started to put the pressure on. Whereas Tony, because of nerves, because he knew what was in front of him, he knew it was a hard task. But Tony was doing very well up to that point.
Indeed, because we can see on the judges' scorecards there, he was 3 up and 1 up and level on the other.
It was a case, though, that he was winning the battles, but he was losing the war. Yeah. You know, it was taking too much out of him to win those rounds.
And in that last round, I just noticed he clinched for the first time in the fight. When Usyk got close to him, he looked to hold, where earlier he was looking at working the body.
But let's not forget, I don't think it was the end of round 6 or round 7. Tony stepped back and dropped his hands, and he got hit on the bell. And that, you saw, Usyk knew he had the power to hurt him because his legs went. He staggered back to the corner, managed to stagger through the next round. So that was the beginning of the end, because Tony fatigued himself, got hurt, and then Usyk thought, right, now's my chance. He had a game plan, and I think it went exactly as he said, exactly how he wanted it to go.
Yeah, I think Usyk just knew he had to just keep chipping away, round by round, breaking him down, getting closer, getting there, and the shot started landing more cleanly and with more regularity.
We just see there Derek Chisora giving his pal Tony Bellew an embracing hug there, and rightly so. Right, let's head over to the commentators for their final thoughts.
It was always going to end in huge emotional scenes one way or the other, wasn't it, with Tony Bellew involved. What a good start he had, but Oleksandr Usyk right back at him, found the left shots, especially to the body, and what a finish. Is he now, on that performance, a threat to the heavyweight division?
I think because of the sheer size of him and the fact that he boxed at heavyweight and super heavyweight as an amateur, I think he can make that transition very well, but it has to be a steady one. He needs to pick his, choose his enemies wisely early on, and then we know he's looking for big AJ. That may be too ambitious, but on that kind of performance, with the size, he's come down to 200 pounds there. He's boxed heavier as an amateur, so he can go back up to that weight, and you can see he's a big unit. He's got a big skeletal, big skeleton, backed up by a lot of muscle. He can go up comfortably, and he's tall enough as well, so he is a serious step for the heavyweights. You can say that, but I'd just like to say that Tony Bellew really put up a top performance, probably one of the career best performances, but he came up against a fantastic Usyk tonight, and what a way to end his career. What a shame, but he's got a lot to be proud of, and we've really found someone here today in Oleksandr Usyk that's very, very special. We need to acknowledge that.
Well said, Carl. He struck gold at heavyweight, of course, in the London 2012 games, and we were mentioning earlier, Paulie, that Johnny and I saw him sparring Vladimir Klitschko and giving him all sorts of trouble before Klitschko fought Fury. So he could be a real threat, especially with that southpaw style to the big boys.
Yeah, I think he has a great innate ability to be creative in there. I think it's hard to judge on tonight's performance because Bellew took on a very specific game plan and a very patient game plan. He basically knew, Bellew's game plan was basically, the pressure's not on me, it's on you. Come get me, I dare you to take a chance. And I can punch, so I don't take too many chances, otherwise you may pay for it. And he was deadening the pace very well until Usyk finally started establishing the touch body shots, the mental pressure. But a good performance by Bellew, but it's hard to judge Usyk's heavyweight chances based on this performance tonight, because the game plan for Bellew was so specific. I think you just judge Usyk on what you've seen thus far in his career, his ability to be creative, set up shots, be busy in there. And I think he does have a good chance of to be a big enough heavyweight, maybe not a huge heavyweight, but a big enough heavyweight and a creative guy enough.
You can see all the hugs and pats on the back for Tony Bellew. Such a popular figure, a wonderful career, the way he turned it around, the Indian summer he had, the Rocky-like performances at Goodison Park, the double over David Haye, and the really good start here. Nothing to be ashamed of, plenty to be proud about looking back at his career. But it is the name of Oleksandr Usyk who moves us forward into a new chapter. And will it be a heavyweight chapter for Usyk, who cements himself as the world cruiserweight king, and in the end, emphatically?
Absolutely, Tony Bellew has so much to be proud of as he makes his way back to the dressing room, quite possibly for the final time. It really was a superb main event. But let's just recap the headlines from a little earlier on. Sure.